Hi everyone. In today's video we are going to learn about these orchids. They are the Dendrobium orchids. Okay, so Dendrobium is a genus of orchid that belongs to the family Orchidaceae, and there are over 1500 species of Dendrobium orchids and a lot of hybrids as well. Especially the orchid called the Dendrobium nobile that has been hybridized, I would say, hundreds of times. Dendrobium orchids grow in a varied kind of habitats, so it's very difficult to generalize their requirements. So that's why I'm going to focus on the Dendrobium variety which is most popular, that is the Dendrobium phalaenopsis. I know it is a little confusing. We already covered Phalaenopsis orchids. So what is this Dendrobium phalaenopsis? Yeah, strangely, these dendrobiums, which look like moth orchids, although they are dendrobiums and in a different species of orchids, they go by the name Dendrobium phalaenopsis because the blooms are similar to Phalaenopsis orchids. So don't get confused by the Phalaenopsis with the long leaves, etc. These are orchids that are called Dendrobium phalaenopsis. Okay, now if you look at the Dendrobium orchids, they are epiphytic or lithophytic in the wild, which means that they either grow on trees or on rock surfaces and stones, etc. They do not generally root into the ground or land. So they don't have access to any kind of ground moisture. They receive their moisture from rainwater that lands on their leaves. That's why it's so important when it comes to dendrobium care that we must water these orchids adequately, but they also need to get dry between waterings. So what that means is, since it is rainwater that's falling on them, the water just falls on their roots and then quickly drains away without settling in the roots. That's why these orchids require similar kind of care when it comes to watering requirements. Again, as I said, this is more of a Dendrobium phalaenopsis variety, and you see these thick canes, or these are the stems, or you can call them pseudobulbs. This is the part that saves moisture as well as nutrient for the plant. Each plant has multiple of this pseudobulbs. That's why they are sympodial orchids. Unlike a phalaenopsis or a vanda, which has only one stem and is a monopodial, dendrobiums can get multiple stems or pseudobulbs or canes, and they are called sympodial orchids. And because they have canes, they are also called cane orchids or sometimes bamboo orchids. Now there are multiple varieties, as I said. While we are covering the Dendrobium phalaenopsis variety, all of these orchids are hard-caned orchids. Now you have other species of dendrobiums like the Dendrobium nobile, Dendrobium phyllum, other native dendrobium species which are soft-caned orchids. Okay, I have a few orchids here as well just to show you. So if you see the difference, look at this cane here. It is extremely soft and pliable, and the best part of it is you can get to know from the leaves itself of these soft cane orchids. So you can easily bend the leaves in a soft cane orchid, versus if you look at the proper Dendrobium phalaenopsis, the leaf is very rigid and hard, right? If I just fold this leaf, it is going to snap into two pieces. So this is a hard cane dendrobium versus this is a soft cane dendrobium. This is actually a nobile variety of dendrobium that I have here. Okay, so we covered the water. So from a water standpoint, they like to be watered, but they like their water to drain out quickly. Right? And given that they are epiphytes and lithophytes, they obviously, the media that you have from a potting media perspective has to be very light and airy. So if you look at this media, you have charcoal here, you have some cocoa husk, coconut husk, pieces of coir, etc. as media, and that is the media that will work perfectly well for dendrobiums. In terms of pot sizes, most dendrobiums prefer to be in small pots and completely root bound. Okay, so put them in smaller pots rather than putting them in huge pots, unless they come in a big size, that's a different one. But otherwise put them in smaller pots and let them kind of get completely root bound, and they will grow and they'll give you these beautiful flowers. So that's another tip when it comes to dendrobiums. Now from a light requirement standpoint, Dendrobium phalaenopsis especially require lots of light, but not bright light. Okay, not bright sun, not direct sun, but they require a lots of light, no, but not direct sun. A lightly shaded window is best. You can grow these orchids indoors as long as they do get that bright light. In my case, since I have a north facing balcony, I have to grow them outside and I have to put them in the brightest spot that I can find in my balcony. But for those of you who probably have a southeast facing window, you can probably even get them indoors as long as they get the very bright light. These will not do well in direct sun because their leaves are quite sensitive. So if you put the leaves in direct sun, they can burn the leaves and they can turn yellow and they would die. So that's why you have to be careful with direct sun. In case these plants don't get proper light, the bright light that they require, they might put a lot of stems, right, or baby stems, or they are called keikis, or the baby orchids as they are called, or plantlets as they are called. So they might put these keikis, but they will not bloom for you. So if you have an orchid that goes on putting keikis but is not delivering any blooms, then probably you need to move it into a bright light area to be able to induce those blooms. Now with light, temperature is another consideration. So these are considered to be warm house plants. Meaning they favor all the conditions for warmth, and they require that warmth. The temperature should be around 60 degrees Fahrenheit or more. They don't like very cold temperatures, but they are okay. I mean, typically between the day and night temperature, if there is a difference of about 10 degrees, these plants do the best. Okay, so humidity, these orchids love their humidity. And if you consider for Dendrobium phalaenopsis especially, they like a 50 to 60% humidity. And if you see brown leaf tips on your leaves, typically that is a sign that the air is too dry and that you have to increase the humidity for the plant. You can keep a humidity tray underneath these plants or use a humidifier, etc. Just ensure that these orchids are not sitting in water, because one thing they hate more than everything else is their roots being roots sitting in water. So these really like that additional drainage and ensuring that their roots get enough airflow. That's the most important thing. The other thing is the entire piece around air circulation, right? These orchids love their air circulation. So don't pack them all together. Give them enough space between plants so that they have enough airflow around the roots. Fertilizers, Dendrobium phalaenopsis orchids love to be fertilized regularly, especially when they are in active growth season. Okay, fertilizing every couple of weeks during the summer months and maybe once a month or maybe once in 2 months during winter should be enough. Give them a balanced fertilizer like a 20-20-20 NPK during maybe their growing season. And when you feel that new blooms are coming, the plant has given a new stem or a keiki, and the keiki is growing well, and you feel that it is time for a bloom, use a high phosphorus fertilizer with a high middle number, like a 0, 52, 34 kind of NPK would be great. And one of the other things that you can also do is you can alternate between these two fertilizers. So once every alternate weeks you can give it a balanced fertilizer, and then every alternate week you can give it, every 14 days you can also give it a high phosphorus fertilizer. Okay, so this is about the orchids. As I said, orchids don't grow directly in soil, regular soil. They are obviously epiphytes. They will thrive in hanging baskets with little or no potting media. They will do extremely well in fast draining media. As I said, something like charcoal, using pine bark or leca or hydrochronus, or a mix of everything, coconut coir, etc. This is the kind of media that you need to use for these orchids. You need to repot this media every couple of years as the plant outgrows, or once the media becomes very soggy and no longer drains properly. That's what the media should look like. Now, pests. When it comes to pests, there are a lot of fungal and bacterial diseases that dendrobiums are known for. Because of the kind of humidity, they also attract fungus, etc. You can use a systemic fungicide like a SAF or cinnamon powder if you want to go the organic route. Normally, otherwise, whenever you're watering the plants, do check for pests as well, and that's the best way to kind of manage these plants. So this is about detailed overview of Dendrobium orchids, right from their light requirements, water, humidity, temperature, pests, fertilization, etc. There are over 1600 species of this, so a lot of varieties, and these are by far the most easiest orchids to grow. So if you don't have an orchid, this is a great orchid to start from, and I hope you can get one for your collection as well. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.